I need some easy meals this week. Let's head over to Fareway and get a roast.
How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great too. Is there anything I can help you find?
Yeah, I'm thinking a beef roast.
Okay.
I'm thinking for the crock pot.
Okay. It just so happens I have a crock pot roast right here that's on sale.
Okay.
It comes, let me show you here. It comes out of the shoulder, so it's a real tender piece of meat. Mm-hmm. And it also, what we do is we take this top part off, the top blade off, and leaves you just with the center piece.
Okay.
Real lean, nice and tender for you. Kind of the best of both worlds there.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that sounds really healthy, and it's what I'm looking for. So I think I'd like this second one right here.
Second one from the front.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little over 2 3/4. Would that be enough for you?
No, I'm gonna need a bigger one.
A little
than
bit
that.
bigger than that?
Yeah. Do you have one that's more than 3 pounds?
Is that one? This one here a little closer to me?
That one. Let's try that one.
I grab a hold of him here. That one might be pretty close to the same size, actually.
Okay.
Just under 3 pounds.
Okay, well, 3's good. Let's go with that one.
Want to try that one?
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else I can get for you today?
That's what I really need today.
Okay. Let me wrap this up for you and I'll bring it around.
Okay. What kind of seasoning do you like when you put it in the crock pot?
You know, I vary it a little bit. You can always use Lowry seasoning salt. That's a common one a lot of people like, but another one I like is Cookie's Flavor Enhancer.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be as salty as the Lowry's is, and that's
Okay, all right.
seems to be what my children like.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right. Thanks very much.
You bet. You have a good day. If you need help finding anything else, just give me a holler.
Okay, thanks.
So I got up early this morning to prepare the crock pot roast. And we're going to use 4 potatoes, 4 carrots. These are my seasonings. We're going to use Lowry seasoned salt, some kosher salt, some garlic powder, and some garlic pepper. I've got the roast in the fridge. So we'll start out by preparing the vegetables. I've already got these washed and the carrots peeled. And I don't have a lot of time this morning, so I just leave the peels on. And that's actually better anyway because there are a lot of nutrients right under the skin. So we're going to start by just cutting this in half, and each half in half. And then probably about 3 times across. And then that just makes a nice big chunk that'll cook evenly. Just put that in the dish here. And then for your carrot, I like to start out by sectioning it. It's just a little bit safer that way. Then you can go each section in half. And then the smaller ones, just throw those in. But these bigger ones, you can lay them down flat and slice them in half. That's just a little bit safer so they don't roll around on you so much. So get those in. Then we're gonna get our actual crock pot ready. Just to make it easy, we're gonna spray the inside of the pan. Get that a pretty good coating there. Now pour in our vegetables. And then we'll do a little seasoning. Not a lot of salt, but some. I like to sprinkle a little salt in there. We're going to use some garlic pepper, just gives a little nice extra touch there. And mix that around a little bit. Get seasoned. And then your crock pot recipe may say that you need to cover the vegetables with water, but I like to put about maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water down in the bottom. They don't have to be entirely covered because after your vegetables steam and your meat cooks, there'll be a lot more juices in here. So then we'll move on to the roast. And I really enjoyed going down to the meat counter yesterday. The guys there are great. They have a lot of knowledge about meat and they're so ready to help you. So I just start with this in the crock pot. Just take your paper here.
Okay, and then we're going to season this meat. I like to use Lowry salt. So I'm going to start out by just salting it all over, every surface. And it's fine to keep this netting on. It just kind of keeps the meat all together, and it will season right through there. And it's meant to be, to stay on while you're doing the cooking. Then I'm going to use the garlic powder. And I like to do the seasoning right on top of the vegetables, so that all the extra seasoning goes right down in there. And I did a really light amount of salt with the kosher salt, so the seasoning salt won't be too much for those vegetables. Okay, so that's all there is to it for now. We're going to put the cover on, plug in the crock pot, and turn it to high. And in approximately 10 to 12 hours, this roast will be done and fork tender. So that time is approximate because it's going to depend on how big your roast is and how many vegetables you have in there. So we're going to count on about 12 hours for what we have in here. I'd recommend that you leave the cover on all that time, because every time you lift the lid, you might have to add a half an hour of time. So resist that temptation. Just leave it covered all day. So we'll be back later on when it's time for dinner. Okay, so now our roast has been on a good 10-12 hours, and it is smelling so good. When my daughter comes in and I have a roast cooking, she's just like, oh, what is that smell? What are we having? And she's always glad when it's a roast. So we're going to take the lid off, and there's going to be some steam built up in there, so it's going to be hot. So just take a minute. And we're going to take an instant read temperature here just to make sure that we pass the 145 degree mark, which is our mark of safety here. It takes just a couple seconds to come up to temperature. And we're going to end up about 175. And I'm feeling really good about this roast because that thermometer just went in, no resistance. It's like butter. So when you put that fork in, it just goes right in. And that's what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to pull this roast out. Just lift it out and lift it onto your cutting board. And we're going to take the netting off of here. You can just cut that off. And you see how this, it gets kind of brownish where it's been exposed up above the water level in the crock pot. And you can avoid that if you don't like that. You can just brush a little oil on top when you put it in the crock pot. But my son loves that. He's like, Mom, don't get rid of that. I like those crusty bits. So now we're just going to make sure, you don't want to just slice right across the grain. This is actually going to fall right apart. We're going to look for a place where we can get some nice slices. So maybe like right here. And as you get deeper into the roast, it'll cut into some slices. But you can see where up here on the top, it's shreds. And so if you want to keep that for something else, for some shredded beef sandwiches with some barbecue sauce, that's good too. And the reason that we're slicing across this grain is because where these, these grains these strings are kind of long, those are muscle fibers, and it'll be more tender if you cut across the grain. So we'll just layer this onto our platter. Try to keep those slices nice where you can. So depending on how many people you're serving, you can slice up as much as you need for that meal. So I think I'll try to get a couple more slices here. And then I'll dish up the vegetables around it. So while this meat is really nice and tender, you want to just moisten it up a little bit, and you can ladle some of the juices right on top. That just adds a little extra moistness and also keeps it warm because that liquid is really, really hot right now. And another thing you can do is if you're timing didn't work out quite right and you got home from work and you want to hold it for later, you can just layer this like this in the on a platter or in a container and ladle the juices over top. Put it in the fridge to hold and later warm it up on top of the stove. So now we'll just take out some of our vegetables here and layer those around the side. And this is one of the easiest things you can do. You've got, your side dishes all together. It's all been cooked as one. So you've got your meal. You've got your potatoes, your vegetable with the carrot, and then if you want some greens, you can make a salad, and you have a balanced meal. And just kind of arrange this around the sides to make it look pretty, and you'll have a great presentation. Okay, so now you've got your meal all prepared. You just set that aside and take care of the rest of the roast. So it's so easy. This will just shred right apart. You might cut this up so that the fibers are just a little bit shorter. Then we're going to lift that into our bowl here. And when you do it, you'll want to prepare all that, although you can use it for different things. You can use the shredded meat for shredded beef sandwiches with some barbecue sauce. Put some barbecue sauce on there and mix it up. And you can use this and make it more into smaller pieces. And you could use this for a soup or a stew with the juices that you have remaining from your crock pot. So you can get several meals and be creative. You could also make a stroganoff and serve it over noodles. Anything that you use cooked beef for already, you've got this ready to go. Okay, so then you can place these smaller pieces in a storage container and ladle the remaining juices from the crock pot. It's a good idea to strain these because there's a lot of meat proteins left in that juice. But this will make a great soup. This is so easy to freeze right now, and it'll make a great meal for later. The great thing about this roast is that we're going to use everything that we prepared. So we're just going to make this into slices or pieces or shreds, and so from one simple preparation, 3 easy meals. Tonight, sliced beef with the potatoes and carrots. Serve with the salad, you've got a great meal. Later on, shredded beef. Put this on sandwich buns with some more barbecue sauce. Great beginning of a lunch. Then you've got the liquid and the remaining beef. And this will make a great soup for a cool night. So pull that out. You can put that in the freezer and pull it out for a great meal. So head on down to your Fareway meat counter, talk to the employees there, and they'll be happy to help you with whatever you need. Take advantage of what they have to offer. Drop us a line on Facebook with any suggestions or questions you have. Thanks very much for watching.